Hello. I am connecting to a business class flight.
Yeah.
Can I don't know, that's all.
Yeah, with Qantas?
LATAM. I'm not sure.
That's fine.
Yeah?
That's fine.
All right.
Yeah, come through.
Perfect.
Today I'm flying from Melbourne to Auckland via Sydney. My day started very early with a 7:45 a.m. little domestic flight with Qantas. As you can see here, I got into the Qantas domestic business lounge. I don't think I was technically supposed to be let in here. I wasn't flying business class on Qantas, Emirates or Jetstar. LATAM is no longer in oneworld. And I have absolutely no status. Your boy made it in anyway. And I have to say that this place is magnificent, especially when compared to Qantas's international business class lounge, which is literally a dungeon. Check out my first ever video because I visited there. Everything in this lounge is just really nice. It's not too busy due to the access rules compared to Qantas Club, which I think everyone and their dog can get into. There's tons of seating. The buffet is really, really nice. And to top it all off, the views are fantastic. Why is the domestic lounge so much better than the international lounge? I don't have all the answers, but I do have this. Despite doing less overall revenue, the domestic side of the airline makes 60% more money with emptier planes. Anyway, enough of that. Let's head to Sydney. This was very much your stock standard Qantas domestic flight. Took off 16 minutes late, landed 7 minutes early. I got reclined on pretty much as soon as we took off, which was just great. For breakfast on board, there wasn't any options. It was fritters. They were fine. They were a bit salty, but still warm and edible. I mean, it's not the 70s anymore, so what can we expect? In terms of entertainment, they had the ABC News running on the screens if you're into that. Otherwise, it was Wi-Fi streaming to your device. It was a standard Qantas affair, lots of HBO shows, a decent number of movies, all around a pretty good system in my opinion. This plane also had free Wi-Fi. I had to watch a Qantas ad to use it, but it was actually completely usable and fairly quick. An interesting thing about having decent Wi-Fi was that I was able to see where the LATAM Dreamliner that I was about to get on was, and it was literally the plane ahead of us in the approach path. I just thought that was so cool.
Doors and cross-check, please.
Sydney Airport has this terrible split terminal design where you can't just walk between the international and domestic terminals. If you're not flying Qantas, you've got to catch either the airport shuttle bus, which only leaves every half an hour, a train, which is like $9, or a taxi. They literally recommend this on the website. But if you're flying Qantas, they have this pretty handy shuttle service, which is inside of the domestic terminal, so past security, and you catch a bus straight to the international terminal. It goes on the tarmac. You get some really great up-close views of the planes, which is awesome. During peak hours, it's very frequent. Like, I just got off my plane and there was one waiting there ready to go. After you get off the bus, it's a short walk through this back hallway to customs. You kind of get sent to the business class express lane, but it wasn't actually very express, especially today. For some reason, the smart gates were just not working, and there was this huge just gaggle of people waiting to go through. No one was really explaining anything. There was just this one woman from customs yelling at everyone to move closer in together, but there wasn't any way to go, so you kind of just stood there and waited.
Waited around all day.
Going to Montreal. Excuse me. Delete it now, please. No. You're not allowed. I say 2 minutes. I'm no mobile phone. Delete it now, please.
Did I miss the sign?
That was my sign to stop recording. After about 10 minutes, the smart gates finally decided to work and I made it through customs and security, and I was quickly on my way up to the Qantas business class lounge. I'll keep this bit brief because we've already had one lounge review in this video. This lounge is just okay. When I got there, it stunk of burnt toast. I wasn't sure if I was having a stroke or not, but no, someone had just completely burnt their toast, and the whole place just stunk of burnt toast. So not sure what was going on there. Once that cleared out, it kind of smelled like the change rooms at my gym where I was sitting. I think I was a bit too close to the toilets, but I wasn't sitting next to the toilets. So again, what is going on there? The food was all really good, and there was decent turnover at the buffet, so it didn't feel sketchy or anything. It was incredibly busy. I guess this is a side effect of how many airlines get access to this specific lounge. And also the seats were just everything. The seats, the carpet, it was all stained, completely worn out. A lot of the seats had like the internal springs were all broken, so you sit on them and it's like sitting on a rock. Also the views, it's got windows, but you can't really see a whole lot. So generally it's just a very overused and tired lounge. It definitely needs a refurbishment. It's fine to come in for some food and some drinks. This definitely isn't one of those lounges that you'd go out of your way to spend lots of time in.
Immediately to gate number 63, aircraft is awaiting immediate departure.
Thank you for calling, ladies and gentlemen. The Thai Airline flight LA800 services Sunshine.
Thanks.
Now welcome your flight.
The other side for your left hand.
Thanks. Oh, thank you. Thanks.
LATAM business class. On pretty much all of LATAM's Dreamliners, they have this 222 configuration of business class seats. They're all lie flat, but obviously the window seats do not have direct aisle access, which is a bit of a bummer if you're traveling by yourself. There's also pretty much no privacy in this business class cabin. There's no sort of dividers. I can turn to my left and see the bloke sitting next to me. It was just a very friendly seat. I guess also here, if you're traveling with a friend, a lover, both, it would be quite a nice seat to sit in with them. You could talk to them, you can look at them, you can stare lovingly into their eyes, and they're just there. Talking more generally about the seat, we've got the screen directly ahead. It was a decent size. To the left of that, there was a little sort of hidey hole. That's where the headphones were when I boarded. Down below, there's that red ottoman. This kind of becomes the end of your bed when the seat's fully extended. Underneath that, there's some good storage space. That's where the bedding was when I boarded. Okay, about boarding, two things. First thing, when I got on board, the business class cabin had a really weird vibe about it. On the Dreamliner, you've got these electronically controlled windows, and they were all, apart from like two, locked to the darkest setting. So there was like barely any light coming in. All of the light came from the cabin lights. It was just this weird bar-like moody lighting going on. Mind you, this flight departed at 11:25 a.m. and it's not like a connecting flight. So everyone getting on board was on Australian time, and this was like the morning for us. I don't know why it was all dark and weird and locked that way, but that was weird thing number one. Weird thing number two, generally in business class, they bring you a warm towel or some drinks. There was none of that in this flight, which is fine, except I was watching them basically for the entire boarding process just bring drinks and chat to the people in the first two rows. I don't know what was going on there. I mean, I don't particularly care. I wasn't dehydrated, but it was just a bit weird seeing them only do it for the front half of the cabin. I just graduated uni and one of my last blood subjects was Spanish 1. I was watching this safety video so intensely. It was some good practice. I was focused. Also, this is like the most unhinged thing I've ever seen an airline do. But straight after the safety video, there was like an ad for Samsung. Is this normal in other parts of the world? This just seems so unhinged to me. Like, is the safety video brought to us by Samsung? Here's some extremely tinted takeoff footage. We took off 23 minutes late at 11:48. It was a pretty standard departure out to the north before we took a right-hand turn out towards New Zealand. We cruised at 41,000 feet out over the Tasman before landing into Auckland 21 minutes early at 4:14 local time. I was completely zoinked from the really early start today, and so I decided to try and have a nap. I've got to give it to LATAM here. The bedding is actually really nice. The pillow's like a proper sort of pillow, and the blanket's just really cozy. We all know that I'm like 4'6", but even I found that the bed was really not long enough. With my feet touching the bottom, my head was like scraping up against the top of the bed. I mean, I just kind of had to curl up a little bit, but it didn't really feel spacious. Also, please remember that this is a daytime flight. Porque está oscuro el avión. A bit of a weird flight so far. I've been like half asleep the whole time. But yeah, anyway, toilet. I mean, it's a toilet. Yeah, I might eat now. Now, I've got the timestamps. This was 12:37. In my opinion, this is a lunchtime, right? No. This was considered a snack. check it out. From right to left, we've got a packet of chips, a couple of muffins, trail mix, a chocolate brownie, bread roll, and a chocolate bar. Why are we carb loading?
Time to carbo load.
Did LATAM sign me up to a marathon the next day that I am not aware of? I mean, I've got no constraint when it comes to a tray loaded with carbs, so I ate it all, of course. But what is this? You know, I kind of initially just played this off in my head, like, oh, it's just a short little flight to Auckland. It doesn't really matter. But this is the first of the 2 legs to Chile, right? So if I was flying all the way to Chile, I would be thinking, like, what are they going to serve me for dinner? Like a bowl of hot chips? I'm almost certain they serve a real dinner and it's probably quite nice. This was just really funny and kooky to me. Just under the left armrest, there's this little cubby which has like a power outlet, a USB port, a drink bottle, the TV remote, and an amenity kit, which I forgot to film, but it was just an eye mask, socks, and a toothbrush. Let's get into the entertainment system because that one was also kind of wild. Overall, it's generally a pretty good system. They got a lot of good movies on there. In terms of TV shows, they got a good selection. They got a bunch of HBO stuff, which is always a good sign. 2001: A Space Odyssey, can't go wrong. It did get a little bit weird though. In the TV section, there was a bit called TikTok Extra. It was just compilations of TikToks, which kind of just defeats the whole purpose of the TikTok algorithm. But I guess this might get your older business crowd into TikTok maybe? I have no idea who asked who either. Did TikTok approach airlines or did the airline go, oh, we need to get TikTok on it? I want to know what the process was here. It's just weird. And just to balance out, you know, you've blown off some steam on TikTok, you can do some LinkedIn learning. If you want to learn about digital transformations, negotiating your salary, balancing work and life, it's all here. I got involved in a bit of a treacherous fight with the lamp.
I love lamp.
It was one of these twisting mechanisms where you twist to turn it on, but it just wouldn't turn off again. I think these planes are starting to show their age a little bit. I was eventually able to turn it off. I just had to twist it and be very careful. As we approached New Zealand, I still couldn't look out of my damn window. It was still locked to this sort of dim setting. You can see out of them a lot better on camera than I could see out of them in person. I just wanted to look at the damn countryside and enjoy the view, but no, I wasn't allowed to. The actual landing was uneventful. We arrived 21 minutes early, as I said earlier. So, LATAM business class. I would put this one firmly in the weird column. On one hand, the seats, while not super private, are still pretty comfortable, and the in-flight entertainment is good. But on the other hand, the service was just weird. This could just be a one-off with the crew, and the food was just strange. It's not like I'll never fly LATAM again after this. If anything, I probably need to fly them one more time just to see if this was a one-off or not. I'll give them like a 5 out of 10 and probably wouldn't put them on the top of my recommendations list. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you did. I just went on a trip, so there's a whole bunch of content coming. Subscribe for all of that. Check out flightformula.com if you collect Qantas frequent flyer points because I've got some interesting tools and stuff for that. I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks. Bye.